Hola Mariana. Bien, bien. Hello Parvati. How are you guys? Hello Mafi. Um yes, Mafi. I'm tired sometimes, but I try to manage it. I'm trying to adapt. Here the days are more like brighter, and I wouldn't say like it's warmer, but probably they are not so gray. And in September we will be like spring will be arriving for us. So probably the change of seasons and to have a better weather, and I think that somehow it makes you feel like a bit more hopeful. I don't know if a lot of you can relate, because we are on the opposite side of the world. So here in our country, since we are still in winter, the days have been like really cold and very gray and rainy and a bit depressing. Just like, I love winter. Um, but I would say that they don't help sometimes the mood setting. It does make you feel more tired. You get sleepy. You feel cold, so you are a bit grumpy. The day seems shorter because it gets dark at around 5 p.m. So probably once the season starts to change and we get warmer days, probably I will feel better. But I'm trying to adjust. But yes, if it is work related, yes, I am busy as usual, and I have been studying as well. So yeah, my days are pretty busy. But how are you guys? Hey Samara. Um, I have been studying like to be like asistente de despachante de aduana. I don't know how it's called in English, but it's a short course. But I'm like, yes, today's topic. Thank you, Samara. It's charisma. So I was thinking about the title because I was like, we always talk about our biases and we talk about why they are our biases and their attributes. But when I think about charisma, I actually think about probably these idols that they are very charismatic, um and that they have that probably I think I would be more like curious about what is your opinion about certain idols that are charismatic, but you wouldn't be like, oh, they are that talented, because actually charisma is something that is when you have that sort of like um attribute that you actually cannot like put into words what is it exactly what that person that you find attractive or that you find like peculiar and that it caught your attention. And what about these idols that you think that are charismatic but probably not the most, I wouldn't say talented, because I believe that to be an idol or a trainee, you have to have talent or you have to be consistent and hardworking. So I don't think it's about talent, but I think that probably is that idol that you are like, I don't know what is it about this member that is not that popular, but it has something. It has something. It has charisma or it has a certain presence that you cannot help but to love them, despite of maybe, I don't know, people that are like, oh no, this is the center or this is the most popular or this is the one that you're supposed to be looking at. But probably you're like, oh, but this one has a sort of something that I think that it's interesting, but like for me it's eye-catching or it's charismatic, but I wouldn't say it's like the outstanding member. Banchan, that man has people in chokehold with his Libra energy and Felix. Everyone loves that man. Hmm. Yeah, I think that in the case of Felix, his ability is that, yes, exactly, inner confidence and shining. So that's something that actually you cannot help but to own. Like probably you're like, yeah, I'm just being myself, and all of a sudden there are people that find it like attractive or like special. Um, I think that charisma it's something that it's effortless. Actually, you either have it or you don't. Felix has a deep voice, like in all. Honestly, doesn't have an outstanding talent. I think that what is something that it's very like I believe from my perspective of watching a lot of people like compliment Felix. I think that Felix is the perfect representation of being a Virgo man with the moon in Aries. Like he looks like a Virgo guy, very like regular, and once he opens his mouth, he has that airy, very masculine voice that is like the representation of his inner nature, that actually he's not that angelic, or that he does have a masculine side, and it comes through his voice. And actually when you see him perform, or when you see him doing certain concepts, you can see the masculine side in him, despite of him being very beautiful and pure in image wise. He has that very strong masculine voice that reminds you that he has that duality, that there's something very masculine in him, or there's like that he's not that sweetie pie, that actually he does have like he can be very passionate and very like deep, like his voice. It's just that um usually like moon in Aries people, they have like those very strong deep voices, but he does look like a sweet guy, like nothing special, like. Yes. I find Espa Ning Ning very charismatic while performing on stage. Her facial expression is on point. She has great vocals. Yes, Ning Ning. Yes. I never actually was like I don't follow Espa, but I always wonder like who would be my bias in Espa. And I think that I agree with you that probably Ning Ning would be my bias in Espa if I had to choose. But I don't know much about the girls. Like I haven't like followed their dynamic or anything. I find Jenny to be very charismatic. She's very confident with herself, but she's also quite talented. Oh yes, yes, Jenny. Yes. Yes, despite of people actually calling her lazy, and actually like you cannot help to admit that she is very charismatic, and actually she can do very little and still be charismatic. And I think that yes, it could make sense that actually Jenny is that kind of person that even though you may disagree or may have different points of view about the way she performs or what she does or how she breathes even because there seems to be a lot of Janie haters, or a lot of people that were very obsessed with her performance, or trying to label her as something, and nevertheless you cannot stop talking about Jenny. So yes, I think that she is charismatic, and she can do a lot with that charisma. Like she has that effect of like, yes, you can criticize all you want, but you cannot deny that she is charismatic, and that yes, she can do very little, but she caught your attention. Momo, her charisma. Wow. Oh, yes, Mariana. Yes. I watched a few TikToks with people that went to the concert and recorded Momo live, like on stage. And I was like, oh my God, that girl is so beautiful. Like, how can she be real? Like, and her dance and everything. She is so charismatic for me. Um, her and Sana probably are my biases in Twice. Mm-hmm. Jackson Wang seems very charismatic. Yes, Jackson. Yes, yes. Jackson has that, like, there were moments where, I was like, I don't know, there was moments when I first started paying attention to Jackson that I would find him actually a bit like annoying, because I don't know, the clips that I would find of him, he would constantly be talking and talking and talking, and I just couldn't get his humor. Like I couldn't, like, I was like, why are you so extra? Like, and then of course I learned that, some K-pop idols, they do have their roles. I mean, you do have the mysterious one, you have like the clumsy one, you have like the strong one. So I was like, oh, maybe this is part of his role. And then eventually, as time passed, I watched his interviews, like him being himself, not being part of the group, him talking about himself, and I was like, oh, now I see the real him. And I was impressed actually about how pleasant it is to listen to him, and how comfortable I felt. But I think that the clips that I watched that I used to find annoying were the ones that where they were like rookies still. And him being extra in all interviews and stuff, I was like, maybe this is too much for me. But then eventually, like when he started like going on interviews and talking about his history and everything, his experiences, I was like, oh, this man is great. um and and maturity, he's very mature. And I would say I love his, also his individual projects, like his music, his performances, his MVs. He is amazing. He is amazing, like truly an artist. Like I really love his the songs that he releases when he does this individually. So a huge admiration for Jackson. But at first I was a bit like, Jeonjun, TXT, Yeonjun. Yeah, with yes, I think in the case of Yeonjun, TXT Yeonjun, I never understood actually the hype around him. Um, but I didn't understand it, but it's very noticeable that he's very popular. Yeah, but from my perspective, I never, like, I was like, yeah, he's okay, but I don't know. In my case, like, I recognize that he has a lot of fans and that he is the bias of a lot of people, and that he's extremely talented. But I'm like, for me, I don't know. But for me, not only me. I think I believe that it happens only to me. That I'm like, yeah, there he is, but oh yes, Beomju, I can see it more from my perspective. Like I always say, like from my perspective, I can see him like he actually gets more my attention. Um, but I heard about John June that a lot of people say that he is an ace and that he is very talented. And I definitely believe this because actually a lot of my friends, their bias in TXT is Jonghyun, and they also talk to me about his talent and all his traits, and he is charismatic. He is also charismatic, and I think that this is a great example of being not only talented but also charismatic, because you can be very talented but actually not being very charismatic and not standing out. So I believe that probably the fact that he is a lot of people bias, it does talk about his charisma because he attracts people. So um, in my case, I never found something like, oh, I've never been drawn to him, honestly. But I know that probably his role is very important in the group because he does attract a lot of, actually, a lot of people support the group or began to stand the group because of him. So I guess he does his part very well. But in my case, I never was able to connect to Jeonjun. Like, no, I know. I mean, when I see him, I'm like, yes, but mm, the Beomju, I like Beomju. Beomju, and probably my bias would also be Taeyong in TXT because I love his voice, very like rock kind of voice. But probably because I am the kind of person that usually I don't go for the most popular member. For example, if in one group, I don't know, the most popular is this one, I will choose the other one that is not that popular. I always done this, guys, so it's not personal. Yes, yes, Mafi. I felt that myself. When people ask me to do readings for groups that I don't know much about, I actually get really attached to them as if I know them, and I begin to show more. I pay my more attention to what they release and how they are doing and if they are okay. Uh, and I think that yes, it does give you like a sort of different perspective. You know, you're like, wow, I never thought about this specific idol this way. Always going for the Scorpio energy, the Ionis and Aquarius. Yes, probably that's the reason. Yes, I go for the more like um yeah, probably yes. Yeah, probably. Yeah. But people that are Jeonjun bias, I know that they love him, and we cannot deny that he's very talented. They all are. Oh my, mm. Healing Kai. I have to do. Someone asked me to do a reading for the boys since they had a comeback very recently. So, yes, I will do a reading about them very soon. So, if you know, if there are some jobbies here or watching later, please support the video because I'm going to be, probably tonight, I'm going to be doing it. Um, that was me, Slay. Thank you. Thank you for your recommendation. I was thinking about that because, to be honest, I don't know. I talked with this with my friend the other day when the MV came out of Whisper, and I was like, at first the song did remind me a bit of Blackpink's Ice Cream. I don't know why. Maybe it's the pastel colors. And then I was like, because I watched it with subtitles, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And I was like, oh, maybe I need to listen to it one more time. And I'm not sure about the song. So yes, I love the teaser. Exactly. Yes, I'm really curious about what they're bringing. I'm excited. I hope it's good. Because I was talking with my friend about this because I'm like, am I the only one? Hmm. Am I the only one who actually don't? There's something about the new comebacks that I'm like, I get used to the song, but I'm like, I don't know if I truly like what. If there had been like a comeback that I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I don't know if it is just me, and I'm not that picky, guys. Like I said, I'm no music expert. I don't know much about notes and stuff. I do have a tendency of liking dark concepts, so probably that it's why the positive, like, kind of bubblegum happy concept probably is not for me. So maybe that's why I become a bit like sensitive. But I don't know. Oh no. Utah is shirtless. I repeat, Utah is shirtless. Yes. 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 Thank you, Samara. Thank you, Samara, for reminding me that because I was like talking very casually about it, and now you stole that memory in my mind. Yes, he is shirtless. Yes. Um. Mm, yes, all the Neos are slaying. Honestly, I'm letting them do whatever until Eric returns. Oh, yeah, yeah, Kuromi. Me, same, same. Like I mentioned, I was ranting about Eric not being part of the like Vino hiatus. And I was like, I know they're working. I know they continue to promote. I'm happy that they're working, but I'm like, I'm not 100% satisfied. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being picky. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Maybe it's something that it has to do with me and my taste. I don't know. But we have to be happy for the guys that they have content and that they are keeping that they keep working, because I'm sure that they put a lot of effort in everything that they deliver. So we should support them anyways. Yes. If only you listen to Blackpink, Pink Venom, we should have slayed. We should have stayed in YG Dungeon. Oh, I'm going to check it out, Kuromi. Levitating. I'm going to check it out. Yes. Yeah, I know, Parvati. I know. I know. I wanted so much. I expected more because I wanted the girls to get more. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just happy that the fans, after that very long wait, they got something. And the girls looked gorgeous as always. So I'm happy to see them. That's all. I'm just happy to see them. Yeah, I get you. It's like something has been missing and Son is working overtime. Like, yes, filling things in, but honestly, they are doing their best regardless. Exactly, Goromi. I think that that's what frustrates me also, because I'm like, I know they had been covering his place, and they had been like doing whatever, like keeping the energy up, being positive, looking amazing, like being very, very like showing a very positive like atmosphere, even though there are 10 members, and also like with the performance, like covering and adapting and adjusting to someone's absence. So they have been working a lot, and I appreciate it. I just like, I'm like, I want them to have a more mature concept, like, I don't know, maybe probably since they are very famous in Korea, maybe the fans or the public there wants the guys to just stay in that very like sweet and hopeful and very youthful kind of concept. But for me, I'm like, these guys are like are maturing, so I was hoping to see something like the type of the Steeler, like doing some a bit more like sexier concept. But I guess we are not getting it yet. Somebody needs to put Teddy on hiatus. Hmm. Oh, oh, you went to see them, Kuromi? Oh, please share a story or something about when you went to see them. Please, I want you to tell me something about them. Did you get to see them close or were you far away? Yeah, we should name a live, the next live. I'm going to name it Teddy on hiatus. Request. Teddy was all up in them credits, and that's why I never got excited for it. I hope that the album sound better. Yes. Let's hope the main song is better than the Pink Venom. Yeah. Let's hope. Samara was happy to see their teaser image of the song. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, something suave and smooth. As el sí, is missing from their discography. We need it. Oh yes, I'm also praying for NCT 127. Yes, I hope that it sounds amazing. Like, I'm loving the title already. I'm uh like, I love NCT 127 songs, and actually, like, I started studying, like, following NCT. Like, I think that 3 months ago, I discovered Love Talk of YB, and I was like, where was I that I didn't listen to this song sooner? But I'm loving NCT 127 old songs. Like, for example, like, I don't know, like, Limitless, um, Kick It, that I'm like, I put them on repeat sometimes. Yes, I saw them. I was pretty close to Bergen, and I was like in GA standing. It was so fun. And Sono had such a cute interaction, and because I'm in London, they name us Mandem. Oh, I'm also praying because around this time this year there is a whole R's sticker. Yes, I'm praying. Yes, I'm praying, Samara, that they don't give them a very cringy sound. I hope not. I don't think they're going to give them a futuristic sound that ruins the mood or that is a bit like. But we're going to support them anyway. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I mean, Utah Shirless. Come on, guys. He, I don't know. Wishing I got VIP, but it was sold out, but it was fun nevertheless. They are all so gorgeous in real life. Just voice is overlooked. It's so smooth. Um, Kuromi, did you get to see my husband, Sangyeon, close? Tell me, share experience with me, please. Also, Songmoon's Scorpio rising is so strong. Literally feel like I was intoxicated. I have never seen such a gorgeous man in my life. His eyes, his aura, God help me. Yeah. Also, he's very Aries at the same time. He's very Aries. He's Moon in Leo. I mean, he does have a lot of Martian energy in him, so he's going to stand out. Yes, because he has a lot of like, yes, very masculine energy, masculine and deep, and very straightforward. So when he goes to you, you will definitely feel seen. Mm. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I watched the teaser and I love I love the sound. So we know that then the changes that it's very different from the teaser, but I think it's going to do great. I love Sangyong. He's my husband. He just doesn't know it. Just this is the regular saying from the Lululand. Yes, I saw Sanyon. He waved to us. He's so beautiful. Oh, Kevin asked if there was any dads in the crowd. It was Father's Day the day before. Oh, and everyone screamed Sanyon. And Kevin was like, Sanyon is not a father. Little does he know that the office already invented him a family. Oh my. But he's daddy. Yes, he's daddy material. Oh my god. I love how Kevin and also Jacob. I love that they have these members that they speak English and that they understand, and that they are very like also spontaneous about translating or like getting what the fans are saying in English and like letting the other guys know. I think that this also helps with the communication, especially when you are an international fan. That you are like, oh, our Korean is not that great, or we want them to know that we see them, that we want to communicate with them. So having members that actually can translate for the fan and let the other Korean members what they're talking about, I think that this also adds a lot to the relationship between the fandom and the artist, and also having like this very humble artists or idols that are like, oh, I'm letting know the other guys what the international fans or English speaking fans are saying, or the, I don't know, the inside jokes. I don't know, it's great to have them. Also, Chamni has the cutest face ever, along with Hagneon. Honestly, they are so cute. Oh, Kevin was great at managing a crowd. I was pleasantly surprised. Yes, yes. Kevin has. I love Kevin. I love Kevin. I think that Kevin has evolved so much in the group. Like he has a very distinctive role in the group when it comes to his connection with the obis, especially the international ones. And I think that he learned how to master this to make a more pleasant and intimate connection for us, the fans, that we don't always have the lack of the Korean fans, that they get to see them every day and go to fan signs. And it's like Kevin, I love to listen to Kevin talk. I think that guy, besides of him being super smart, he's so relatable and he is so artistic, and he has so many talents that I think that the way I think he found a purpose. His purpose in the voice. Like he sort of gives direction in certain moments, especially translating. I don't know if I make sense what I'm saying, but I think that I'm very proud of Kevin. I love Kevin. Because I think that it's great to have an idol that actually listens to what the fans are saying and let the other members know. He builds that connection, that maybe other groups do have, like foreigners, or do have like English speakers in the group, but somehow they, I don't know if they're not allowed to, like, to make the connection, like, oh, I'm going to, this fan said this, so I'm going to let the other knows. I don't know if there's a restriction or they just remain like neutral, but I think that Kevin is like that one that connects different cultures, and it's amazing. He enables that bond, and he's a member. I mean, he is an idol, but he does it, like, so. I remember what I love the most about Kevin is I watched this interview he had, especially the individual one that he had with Eric Nam, when he went with Jacob and Eric. They went to the debug show of Eric Nam. They have Eric Nam was interviewing the three of them together, but then you have individual um, interviews. Eric Nam interviewed Kevin, then interviewed Jacob, then interview Eric. Um, so it's, if you haven't watched those guys, you should watch. Even though if you're not a Joby, please watch those interviews that are, you gotta love these guys. That's why when I decided that I'm going to start this group, because they were, and they speak in English in those interviews. And also Eric Nam is a great interviewer, so he honestly does, and he does it in such a fun and engaging way that you don't even feel like there's any language barrier at all. Yes, very face to face, very, yes, very spontaneous. Yeah, he does. I get what you mean. I was gonna say he's like the bridge. Yes, the bridge between us, and he does it so well, and he's so knowledgeable about Western pop culture and Korean pop culture that it all blends so well. Yes, when he talks about Beyonce, his love for Beyonce, his love for the arts. I remember in that interview when he said that he is into weird stuff when it comes to the creative concept, that he loves music, but probably his taste in music, it's like very different from what he does with the voice. So he also, that's when you are like, oh, so there are like, there are idols, or there are trainees that they know, they differentiate themselves, and they do it very well. Like, okay, like, I like this sort of taste in music, but I do this with my group, like, there's like this personality, I guess. Or Kevin is from Canada, I think. Yes, he's from Canada. Mm-hmm. Yes, I watched their interview. Those guys are fun. Yes, me too. Me too, Parvati. I think I watched that interview because I used to follow, like, Eric's Nam show, and I watched them without knowing who they were. Like, I just, like, I think the first one I watched was Eric's, um and then I just left it on replay, like, I left it playing, and it was great. And then I found out, I was like, oh, I'm going to look for this group, and I think that it was the time when they were in Road to Kingdom. um And then I found out that my army friend was a Jovi as well. So she told me the whole, like, you know, like the whole story or their discography and stuff. I watch those weekly, especially Eric's. They are such an interesting people, yes. It also helps that Kevin was a musical theater kid. Yes, it makes him even cooler. Yes, yes. But Kevin's intelligence and self-awareness, it's something that you cannot help but to want to listen to what he's saying. When he said that he described himself when the interview started, and he described himself as the most awkward social butterfly, I was like, this guy is amazing. Because I think that we people that we have this sort of duality. I think that that label, I never heard of that label before, but I think that he summarized it pretty well. What it's like when you are sociable, it depending on the situation, but sometimes you want to be left alone. So you wouldn't consider yourself an extrovert, like 100% extrovert. You just adapt. And you are sociable when you're required, but then eventually you want to go and hide in your room, something like that. So when he said that phrase, I was like, oh my God, this guy is very intelligent. It's very intelligent, very witty. Um, love him. It makes so much sense in a nonsensical way. Very Pisces of him. Yes, very Pisces. Very Pisces. But you know, I think that he's a sort of an old soul because I think that he has a moon in Capricorn. So there are a lot of things about, there's a level of mystery and also a level of seriousness in Kevin. Even though you notice that he's very changeable and that probably he is a sort of like a free soul or free spirit, there's something about him that, especially in when he has to perform, that you can see his moon in Capricorn. And also that that moon in Capricorn also gives him a sort of like a structure to his personality that he probably like will remain and work for what he has to put in the work instead of just quitting. Because you know that Pisces sometimes it's very dreamy, Pisces sometimes it's very like too much into their own personal world, that sometimes it does affect how consistent they are with their efforts. But I am like very pleased to know that he has that moon in Capricorn of his, that probably he will continue with his responsibilities and with his real world like maturity. um I noticed this when I watched like I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was a very long series of them like living in a house. All the boys members were there, and he was one. I believe he was one of the. He was the only one that would wake up very early. I think that he was up at 6 a.m. And I remember that I recorded this sort of reality show, and it was like winter time. And he woke up at 6 a.m. to make coffee, and he would just go outside and be freezing with his cup of coffee. And he was like, well, everyone was sleeping, like, and he would wake up and he was like, oh, because I have insomnia, I just, and everyone jokes about it that he cannot sleep, that he, but I think that that's very moon in Capricorn. And yes, the 100, that one. uh he was the only one that would wake up very diligently early to sit and have his cup of coffee, and that's something that's when you can see his moon in Capricorn. That's not something that a Pisces would do. Someone that is a Pisces, that is like a very, or that has a lot of mutable energy in them, probably would wake up very late, like would like love to keep on sleeping all day, being in their PJs all day. And in the case of Kevin, you don't see it like this. Kevin is like always ready to be responsible, to and he's very nervous also in his nature. It seems like he doesn't relax, or that he needs to always be doing something. So that's very moon in Capricorn, mixed with being a Pisces, of course. Definitely, I think he has the reality of his Capricorn placements along with the Pisces La La Land mentality, which makes him even more reliable than the average Pisces. Exactly. Because if you think about the other Pisces, because you have a lot of Pisces energy, you have Hagnion. Hagnion, he is a Pisces. He's also a Pisces, but he also is a very different kind of Pisces, because yes, you can perceive him as being a bit more lazy or laid back, or just because he has his moon in Sagittarius, but which allow him to be a bit more flexible, like very, but he has that beautiful smile of his that is very moon in Sagittarius. That's very beautiful smile of him. And even though he can be quiet, when it comes to certain like activities, if he really does put his energy into it, he probably is going to be very good at outdoors activities, or like doing a sort of chore or activity. Actually, he's a very intelligent guy. It's just that probably he would want you to perceive him as lazy, like a lot of people talk, or actually this is something that I believe that all K-pop group does, that they talk or they mention who is the one that is the most into food, that they always label someone, oh, this is the one that eats the most or loves food the most. So, and for me, I don't think that Hagnion eats like um the one that eats the most. I just think that he enjoys food. And when he eats, because he is a moon Sagittarius, he's going to be very blunt about it. I mean, he's not going to go and eat like this. He's going to grab the whole food and he's going to put it like a huge spoon on his mouth, because he is a moon Sagittarius. So he's very authentic to what he feels. When he does something, he does it with the intention and the intensity of enjoying what he does. He's also very like spontaneous. So, and he's also very playful. So I think that um I just don't like it when they do this to some groups, when they are like, oh, this is the peak of the group, or they give them the label of the mascot of a big image, and I'm like, why are you, even when they edit certain scenes, they are like, oh, this member is enjoying the food too much, or is enjoying, look how he eats, so I think that sometimes people get very sensitive over the things, but even the people that edit those things do this on purpose. They always like I don't know, I mean, all of them are eating, but somehow they always like put extra attention on a certain member that they label as the pick of the group. So I don't know, but leave Hagnon alone because he has a beautiful figure. I mean, that man is gorgeous. I love his legs, his thighs, his booty. He's very gorgeous man, very beautiful. Hagneon has so much Jupiter energy to me that I could mistake him as such. Exactly, exactly, Karomi. I always mistake him for such. Sometimes I forget that he is a Pisces. And the same thing happens to me with Lino, with the Stray Kids Lino. For me, Lino always reminds me also of Sagittarius because his moon is in Sagittarius. And I know that he does have Scorpio tendencies because of the way he acts, but when he smiles, he reminds me a lot of Sagittarius. And also, the shape of his body also is very Jupiter influenced as well. But Pisces is also traditionally ruled by Jupiter. Exactly, Kuromi, exactly. Yes. So it makes sense. I see it too in Eric with his Sagittarius Mercury and Pisces rising. Yes, I remember Eric. I always think about Eric and his rising in Pisces when he says that he cries all the time. Like, I was thinking about his rising in Pisces. Yeah, I feel Jesus have so much charisma. Hello, Iva. Oh yes, yes, Jesus, yes. And she's gorgeous. Beautiful, a beautiful girl. Yes, I love to see her. I love to see her. I remember when she used to MC. She was so funny. I wish she could do that more. When she had to MC with GOT7 Jin Young and NCT Doyoung, the trio was hilarious. She's amazing. If Hack eats, he's going to enjoy it. Of course, of course. The one that gets into my nerves when he eats. Guess who is Kurami? One the boys member that gets on my nerves when he eats. Guess who? Oh my god, Kurami. You're amazing. You're amazing, Kurami. You guessed it. You guessed it. Charming. Exactly. Oh my god. I do like I enjoy watching his B lives, especially when he's by himself. He's great. But I remember this one B live when he was with Sonu, and they had the voice changing Eva. Um, they had delivered this hamburger, the hamburgers and the fries and the I believe that it was the cheese. I swear, oh my god, I was like I was enjoying Sonu, watching Sonu eat, because he was like, yeah, I know, Kuromi, I know. I know, but I was watching Sonu eat like, like a very Aries that he is, even though he's Mars in the Taurus. But he was very passionately like eating the hamburger. And next to him, it was Chanmin. The Chanmin was like unfolding the hamburger, a leaf after a leaf. I don't know. And he was like, "Oh, this looks amazing. Oh, this looks so tasty. Oh, it smells like, but come on, eat, eat, please." Like, and he was, I don't know. I don't know. Like, and I don't know why I felt like so triggered because I was like, next to him, I had like Sonu. That Sonu was eating too fast. Sonu was like, but I was like, come on, like eat faster because Sonu is going to eat all your French fries. He's going to finish all your Coke because Sonu was on a race. Sonu was hungry. He was hungry. Oh, but the slow. Oh my God! Like I was so full just watching him hold the hamburger. I was like, oh, you always hate me then, Samara. So meticulous, exactly. Exactly. So meticulous. So meticulous. Yes. So it's so funny the way he would make a noise after every sip. Yes, he was like, ah. He was like having the time of his life drinking Coke. Yeah. But you know, and I don't know why actually I like I find this like I was like, when is he going to start eating that thing? Um, I don't know why I was so mad at this. Maybe because it was the contrast between one eating too fast and the other, like never actually getting to eat the hamburger. Like I was like, this is going to get cold, and you're not going to eat it like properly. I was like concerned because it would get cold. And I remember when I was younger, when I was a child, I had this mm, um como this trait. I don't know, this way of doing things, like wanting to save things for later. For example, I remember me and my cousin would get like one cookie each, for example, with in a package. A cookie, I mean, we here we call it alfajor, that it's like a small cake, it looks, because it has like sweet in the middle and it's made of chocolate, like a brownie sort of, but sweeter and a bit bigger. So they will come in these packages, and I remember we would get one each. And I remember I was with my cousin, and he was a Virgo, and I'm a Capricorn. But I think that he was like, okay, like he would open it, he would eat it, he would be like, oh, it's amazing. And I was like, and then after he finished his own, he was like, but aren't you going to eat yours? Probably because he wanted me to share a piece with him, because he finished his very fast. And I was like, no, I'm going to save it for later. I'm not going to eat it now. I'm going to carry it home and have it later at home. And he was so upset about this. He was so disappointed. Like, why? Like, why can you not eat it now? No, I don't want to eat it now. I want to save it and eat it later. And I remember that he would get really upset with me, probably because he wanted a peace of mind. Because he was like, okay, if you don't want to eat it now, give it to me. And I was like, no, I'm not going to give it to you because I'm saving it for later. So he would get annoyed at me being like this. So that's when I think about this whole scene with Chambin and his slow eating. I think that it probably what annoys me of him is what I used to do when I was younger, and sometimes I do this as an adult. I'm like, I'm going to save this for later, and but that's just me. So I shouldn't like get too triggered by him because probably I think that we have some similarities in there. Yes. Jamie is very small, so I'm sure he does this for a reason. But his mouth holds so much. Exactly, Kuromi. His mouth is hilarious. Yes, he was my cousin. He would hate me. He was so jumpy, so irritable. He was like, "How can you?" Like he didn't understand. Like he was like, "Come on, eat it now," as if it was now or never. And I was like, "No, I'm saving it for later." So yeah, I think that Jamin did mention this that he did this because of his digestion system. That when he discovered that when he is actually very very hungry, that he tries slow eating because he doesn't want his stomach to get like the abrupt action of getting himself full, like getting that desperation of like, okay, that sometimes they go through all day without eating, so when the food arrives, he says he tries to calm himself and breathe between before like having a bite, to not like go so like abruptly fooling himself with food because well and he had this sort of self-regulation. So I admire him because actually I think that it makes sense because if you haven't had anything on your stomach and you finally get the food, yes, the most like I think a reasonable thing would be to eat slowly. But yeah, when you watch it from an outsider, it's like, come on, what is he doing? What is he like taking a small bite? Like you don't understand it, especially because guys in real life don't eat like that. They usually are very messy when they eat. My my aunt, I cooked cookies. No, I'm going to save it for later. Mm. For the dinner. For the dinner. Hmm. I honestly get him. I'm a Virgo rising, and breathing the wrong way could annoy me. Yes, Virgo placements and their IBS. Honestly, me. Oh, yeah, yeah. I definitely can sense a lot of Virgo energy in Janmin. I don't know if it happens the same with you, Kuromi. Like, I sense a lot of Mercurial energy in Janmin. Especially, I notice him being very nervous and very, like, um, a bit paranoid, a bit like, like too nervous to like and it's weird because actually Scorpio people are not like that, but his whole body language reminds me that he must feel stress all the time, like something he cannot control. Look at Hyunjae being all wonderful and beautiful and just chill with him being a Virgo. But Chanmin, I sense that his Mars in Virgo runs his life. Oh, she's a Capricorn as well with the moon in Gemini. Oh, and I was with the cookies I made for her. Like, I was like, come on, eat the cookies now. This reminds me of Hyunjae carrying so many vitamins in his bag, Virgos and their health. Yes, but I think that Hyunjae is a different kind of Virgo. Probably he does remind me a lot of Aquarius because of his moon in Aquarius, and a lot of Aries because of his Aries rising. Like, yes, he can be like methodic, I would say organized, but I think that Hyunjae is a more like laid back kind of Virgo. Like, yes, he can be like annoying sometimes because he's smart when he wants to, but he's a bit of, I don't know. I just don't find him like being nervous or getting nervous for anything. He's enjoying his life, he's laughing at other people, and that's because he has that moon in air, that moon in Aquarius, that is very similar to having a moon in Gemini, moon in Libra. They're always laughing at other people. He's always laughing at the others. He's always like watching, of course, with a lot of intention. He's very smart, he's very observant, but he's also making fun of everything. So he's like a clown for me, but a very like in a sense that he seems to enjoy his life. And also he has an amazing body, and he's like very strong and very, very like, it seems like his energy and his Venus and Mars in Scorpio, like he's all about action. Okay, like, oh yes, I'm so funny, like I'm not paying attention to you, but once I set my intention in something, I know I'm going to be the best, something like that. And yes, I was just talking about it when but even his body language, the nervousness he exudes is straight from his Mars placement, and him being a Scorpio only makes it stronger. I pray for him sometimes. Me too, Kuromi. I pray for Q. Actually, Q was my original first bias because I always am into main dancers. I don't know why, and he was like the one that stole my heart, like because he's so talented. But then later, when I watched a lot of like interviews and a lot of like different like videos of him talking about himself, be lives and stuff, and he started talking about all the things that he thought that he did wrong, or that he wasn't satisfied with this, or that he wasn't good with this, he wanted to be better than this, that he wasn't, like he would always talk like in a very poor way about himself. So, and he would always look anxious and a bit paranoid. So I was like, but you did an amazing job. Like, why can't you congratulate yourself? So I started to feel a bit sorry for him. And also like I would get like a bit like stressed for him. So I was like, maybe I should change my bias, to someone that because even though I do care for Q, but sometimes I'm like, I wish he would trust himself more, and that he would like, like I notice him all the time like being very anxious, and it drives me wild because I'm like, you're so talented. Like, how come you cannot connect with with how good you are? Because seeing him like this, it's like it also like makes me feel alarmed. I don't know. Definitely he's so Martian for a Virgo. Yes, but away from the members, he's more of a Virgo. You can really sense the energy come to the forefront. Yes, Hyunja is actually a cartoon character to me. Exactly. Exactly, Kuromi. You read my mind. He is. Yes, he's so goofy. Yeah, sometimes I wish I could reach into his mind and pull out all his Scorpio inner demons. Poor boy. Yes, exactly, Kuromi. Yes, I wish I could like exercise some kind of, I don't know, because he is so like his confidence is so low and he is amazing. And I noticed that he's also an introvert, so it doesn't help, you know. And I was like, poor guy, like he should really be a bit more optimistic about himself because he's amazing. But yes, maybe we should trust a bit his Scorpio nature to rise up and actually like help him understand that he can transmute all those fears and insecurities and actually like recognize that the potential is there and that it's okay to make a mistake, you know, that it's okay that that if you make a mistake or if the things don't go the way you want to, it's not that you are a failure, it's just life, you know. And and yeah, sometimes you do have the possibilities to have a greater days more than the others, but I don't know, I think that he has so much potential that I just hope he doesn't like I don't know, I think he could do so much, but yes, when it comes to his prof and also his social skills, probably he's since he's very nervous, because I noticed this when he participated in the, I don't know when was it, when he went to this show with, that it was to celebrate the year of the tiger, that he went with Jujon. um and that there was Monsta X members, there was like 2PM members, I guess, and there was like um Astro members as well. Knowing Brothers. When he went with Jujon, you know that he was so like, I wouldn't say shy, but he was so like, I think that I noticed that Jujon had more fun than him. So yes, when they wrestled. Hi Rin. When they wrestled. Yes. And he seemed like, you know, like laughing and stuff, but he was so small. You know, it was like he was being very an introvert, and probably he is an introvert, but I was like, come on, you should have shined more. You should have, and thank God he went with Jujon. Thank God he went with Jujon, because otherwise, I don't know if they sent him alone. I don't know. He would probably like, I don't know, freak out because you know. But I noticed him being very lone. Even though the monster members, Minhyuk was there, Astro Moonbeam was there, you know, and they would always try to include him because the bad part is that yes, he went with Jujon, but they separated them in two groups. So Jujon was in the like in the red group, I think, and Jumping was in the blue group. So you know, you can definitely sense that he was having fun because he was going along, but he was so small. You could see him like being like this, like a small child. Like he couldn't. He had a few instances of showing himself, but very, yes, dancing here and there, but not expressing himself very much. You know, not like very much being in the background, while the other guys were being extra. Yeah, I will never forgive that show for letting Jojo wrestle Jindong. There is attempt murder. Yeah, there is attempt murder. Exactly. Come on, what are you doing to my Jujon? We need Jujon. We need Jujon alive. Okay, guys, I'm going to start pulling a few cards for some idols. So I can wrap this because, I have very, very, very short. The day is going by and I need to do a lot of things. So, how are you, Reem? How have you been doing? We've been doing good here. How are you, Reem? TXT, okay. Rin, since you are here the other day in the other live, I did mention something that I wanted to ask you for your advice or what's your um okay. Actress Gon Yashin, Kevin O. Um, because there's someone that Lisa, okay, that requested Jujon, okay, um, that she requested me if I could do a reading about Girl Generation members and Jessica, like about this dynamic reading. How do they feel about each other? Black Swan, okay. So I was like, is this a very sensitive subject? Should I do this reading or what's your point of view when it comes to this? Because since I do not know much about what happened or you know, probably if this is going to be a problematic subject, I wouldn't want to pull cards for it. That's why I know that you are a Girl Generation fan, so I was like I wanted to see what you thought about that. Hmm. Yeah. It's like that's what some people here told me, that like what's the purpose behind that, because it seems like it's old history. So I was like, okay, so then if it's not important, I'm not going to do it, because it was if it would helps, I don't know, something, I would do it. But if it's just to gossip or to just pull cards to see what they think of each other, I don't want to get involved in this. Mm. Mm-hmm. It's a situation of ego and greed getting out of hand. You can do a reading to see the vibe. Honestly, people already pick the side. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's not necessary. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Rim. Because I wasn't going to actually. I didn't pay attention to it, but I was like, oh, I'm going to ask Rim what she thinks about that, because like there are a lot of other more interesting readings that I could do instead of that. Okay, guys, I have five already. Um, so I'm going to start. The first one is TXT. Okay, TXT. And then I have to go, guys. So I'm going to do this very quick. TXT. And I'm going to pull one card. Well, TXT got the Nine of Swords. So obviously there's a lot of like, probably a lot of nightmares or a lot of like fears or probably them feeling a bit restless about something. So I don't know exactly what is it about actually. Um Probably they feel a bit like not so comfortable. Um so I don't know, guys. There's something that is like getting into their minds. They probably have to make a decision about something and they are not that resting very well. So yeah. um yeah, like they probably are a bit restless, like mentally, about something. Gon Hyunjin and Kevin O, that they are getting married. Yeah, there's something there. Exactly, Rin. Like, I think that it's just for today, but it's the card that I got, so I was thinking about that as well. I should do like a reading. Oh, this is for for the people that are getting married. I'm sorry, I'm covering the people that are naked. For these people that are getting married, like Gong Hyo Jin and Kevin O, they actually should review like what we were talking about gain and stuff, and for this couple we have the devil. So probably if one of them is very ambitious or there's like something happening that it comes about controlling your instincts and stuff, I think that they should review it. They should really like talk about the toxicity or the not so um probably there are some toxic traits or something here that they should work on, or some attachment from the past that they should work on before getting to an engagement together, okay? Because I think that there are like a lot of, I don't know, potential like greed or something. So I don't think that is coming from them, the people involved, but they should watch out, especially if they have like family members or people trying to get involved, like, or people being obsessed with them. They should cut the toxicity so it doesn't ruin their relationship, because there could there could be something coming out. So they should like protect themselves. Okay, Lisa. Card for Lisa. Lisa got the world card. So definitely for Lisa, this is a new beginning. This is a cycle that is about to enter. She's about to enter this new cycle. So she is like completing also like a task. I think that this is a girl that she had managed to do a lot of things. She had managed um, to create a lot of things for herself. So she's really happy. She's really happy, and she's seeing the potential of a lot of opportunities coming her way. So, this is a girl that I think that she has a sort of like very private, like somehow like checklist, like of all the things that she probably wanted to achieve this year, and she had checked all of them out. So she had like, so um there's there's something for Lisa that she's also like waiting for a new project to also give her like a lot of like um a lot of more opportunities. So she's excited. She's excited, and also like probably this comeback is like something that for her it does represent like a new beginning. Like okay, like maybe people are like, oh, this is repetitive, the music whatever is repetitive, and we know we felt a bit like we have a lot of hopes and as and we hope the girls do fine, but I think that from the perspective of Lisa as an individual, she is feeling very very like abundant, with a lot of, she's moving, her energy is moving, the world is moving, so she's doing great actually, and she's going to get a lot of more offers than she already has. Okay, Jujon. Chuchon got the four of the four of pentacles. So this talks a bit about, not being possessive. I think that there's something about Chuchon that he's been a bit stubborn right now. There's something about him actually wanting to get things for himself, or actually like to take opportunities for himself, and he's been a bit stubborn about this. Probably he's not been very flexible about something, and the cards are advising him to actually like be a bit more flexible, adapt to what you have available. So I think that he's like being a bit stubborn, and he probably is thinking that he wants to do something individual, in like individual activity for him, and he's like, oh, but I want to do this for me and by myself. And somehow he's been pushed to not think about himself and think about the group. So somehow he's holding on to something. There's a bit of insatisfaction also in him. Yeah, he probably wants to achieve more. He wants to do more, and there's something that is not letting him like do this. It's like, okay, we have this schedule, you have to do this with the group, do like this, and he's like, but I want to do more, like I want this. And probably he was offered something to do individually and he was told to refuse it, and so he is a bit impatient about this. He's a bit like, oh, this opportunity is mine, I earned this. Like, why can you not let me do what I want? So, mm, yeah, he's not happy about it, and probably he's not going to let it go. Yes, he probably is going to hold really tight to this opportunity until he can get what he wants. It's like okay, he's doing what he has to do because he's responsible, but at the same time, he's not letting go of the deception of him actually knowing that he could have achieved so much more, and they are not letting him be that free. Okay, Black Swan. Black Swan, the Hermit. So I think that for Black Swan, the group, definitely there's something about, like then they have to go like inwards in this sense. They have to go inwards to figure out what they want to do. I think that this is a moment of a lot of introspection, and this is a moment of a lot of self reflection. I think that they shouldn't act yet. They shouldn't go to action. They should focus more on themselves, and also like trying to learn or find like a lesson or a meaning behind everything that they are going through, because definitely they need to somehow absorb more knowledge about themselves and what they want to do as a group. There's a need for wisdom here. There's a need for wisdom. So they have to achieve this sort of illumination, this sort of like, eureka moment, because everything happens for a reason. So they shouldn't like precipitate to act or want to react. They should like stay a bit, on the a bit MIA, yes, not so exposed, but also working on themselves, because they will need a lot of discipline to keep going, in order to keep going. Okay, way B. Way B, Five of Wands. So way B is still in this process of A lot of differences. They definitely like they could use these differences to actually like achieve what they want, but there's a lot of competitions. There's a lot of like back and forth of opinions. Like they definitely have a lot of frustration. There's something here with the ones that is like letting us know that they are a bit restless, that there's something about them that they are not very comfortable right now. They are like, come on, we want action, we want to do something. And somehow this is getting them in a very moody kind of way. They're like, come on, like we want to work or we want to do this. So they could be like sort of like differences between the members because of how frustrated they feel as a group. So yeah, there's a bit of like, okay, I'm doing my best here, and the other part blaming the other and the other and the other, and being like here, like, oh, like, like, oh, this was your part, no, this was me, no. And this is, someone mentioned that they perform as a five member group, and this card is a five. So probably, for them actually to adapt to probably being only five, probably this means that they still are a bit like they should adjust and put more effort into working with the energy of a five. That a five, that is a number that it takes a lot of originality and adaptability to be able to function with that number. So there's a bit of uncomfortableness, but they can do it. They can do it. It's just that maybe for the energy of today, they are feeling a bit frustrated. Okay, guys. So yes, this is all I have for today. Sorry that it was so brief, my readings. It's just that, I have to continue working. So I'm rushing here with the time. I'm sorry, guys, for the people that just joined, and probably like I know I'm dropping this very soon, but yes, and my phone is about to die off because it doesn't have nothing of battery, so this is why I was rushing the interpretations. Oh yes, congratulations, Marina. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. Hi, Lilian. You too. You too. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for everyone that came here at this hour. Love you very much. And I see you in during the week with my videos, and then the other probably when I have the next weekend, if I have Sunday off, I'll be seeing you on Sunday. So thank you so much for being here, guys. Bye.